Another thing that I did because I'm frugal is I don't jump to get the new iPhone every time it comes out. If my iPhone works, you best believe I'm not getting that update. I'm not getting a new phone. As long as my iPhone works and it calls people and it texts people, until it dies out, I'm not getting a new phone. Hello, and welcome to A Friend Like Me podcast. I am your host, Shariel, and I started this podcast because everybody needs a friend like me. Today's topic is be frugal, not cheap. There's a big difference. But before we get into that main topic, I have a first segment that I call What I've Noticed. And what I've noticed is that when you feel dusty or you feel ugly, you get complimented. But when you look nice, nobody says anything. So there's times where you run errands or you're just having an off day. When I say you feel ugly, I'm not saying you are. There's just times where you feel off. And I know everybody tries to act like they're perfect and they're all that. Everybody has off days. I don't care. But anyway, there's times where you have off days and you don't feel your best or you look your best, but someone compliments you and you can't be rude and not say thank you. But in your mind, you don't want to say thank you because you don't believe it yourself. And then when you look nice, no one says anything. They'll literally look at your hair or look at your outfit or look at your eyebrows, know when you look nice, and not say a peep. Low key hating. But it's okay because I know I do look nice. And to me, it's like maybe God put it on the person's heart when you're dusty to compliment you, to like give you an ego boost or to help you out because that's when you really need it the most. I think that's what that really is. So let's get into the main topic. And the main topic, once again, is be frugal, not cheap. So I'm going to start with what being cheap is, and then we'll get into the frugal afterward. And before we get into being cheap, sometimes I'm not talking about people that don't have a choice. Sometimes you're in a financial bind and it's all you can afford. I'm talking about people that always try to cut corners, getting cheap things. And that, yeah, I'm talking about when you cut corners being cheap. That's a big difference. Being cheap to me always costs you in the end. And you risk your money when you're cheap. An example of items that you should never buy cheap, in my opinion, are items like toilet paper. I'm not a one-ply type of girl. Paper towels, oven mitts, bathroom rugs, hotels, flights, and tickets. You should never get these things cheap, and I'll tell you why. When you get cheap toilet paper, you think you're saving money, but you're actually not. Because you're using more squares of toilet paper to get the job done because it's so thin, when you could have got more expensive toilet paper and used less squares, and it ends up being about the same amount of money in the end because you need two cheap toilet papers to that one quality one. Another example is oven mitts. You might get oven mitts from a dollar store. When you take something hot out of the oven, that heat is going to penetrate through those gloves and burn you if you hold it too long. If you would have gotten more expensive oven mitts with the heat resistant coating, you would have been okay. Now you have to double up and triple up on the cheap stuff just to get something out the oven without burning yourself. And another example of something that ends up costing you more in the end is if you get like a cheap used car. That once you get that thing, it's going to break down on you, or it's going to need so much work done that you might as well have gotten a better quality car for a couple thousand more dollars. So now you have a junk car that you can fix up that's going to cost you more money, or you can just get a new car and you end up getting a better car, but you already spent money on the junk car. You ended up spending more money than you had to because you tried to be cheap. So that's when it costs you money, but not only does being cheap cost you money, being cheap costs you a good experience. There are certain airlines that I'm not going to fly. And there's no compromise on that because I know the service is bad, the seats are uncomfortable, the plane is raggedy, and sometimes certain airlines lose your luggage. I'd rather spend a couple $100 extra on the ticket knowing I'm safe, secure, will have good service, have my little snack from the flight attendant, and they're not going to lose my stuff. Another example of that is getting tickets. If I go to an event, I'm not buying cheap seats. I don't want to sit in the nosebleeds. It's on an incline. I don't like heights. I don't like feeling like I'm going to fall off the balcony. I'd rather spend more money to be down near the floor, whether it's a basketball game or a concert. And these are just things where your experience is not good. If you get a cheap hotel, it's the same thing. It's not always a good experience. And I will spend extra money on something to guarantee my experience will be more smooth and more peaceful for me. So now that we got the cheap definition out the way, and I'll go over it once again, being cheap costs you in the end because it costs you more money and it costs you good experiences. Now let's get into being frugal, which is what I am. Being frugal is a lifestyle. And on a scale of 1 to Jason Pitts from the game, I'm a solid 7. People think he was cheap, but he wasn't. He was frugal. Because if he was cheap, he would have got a cheap apartment and whatever else. He got a house. When you're frugal, you get what you need and you wait to get some of the things that you want. When you're frugal, you're smart with your money and you're cautious because you think about the future. There's tips and tricks to being frugal. For instance, of course, having a gas card. The grocery store that I shop at, certain gas stations take those points from the grocery store and I get discounted gas because of it. I'm all about fuel economy. I just got a new car and I didn't want anything fancy. All I wanted was a car that got me to and fro, that wouldn't break down on me, wasn't expensive to repair, and had good fuel economy. And my car has amazing gas mileage. That's what excites me. Another way I save money is because of my shoe size. I will look at a certain sneaker I want and see if they have it in kids sizes before I buy the adult size. And I've saved about $50 before on a pair of sneakers because I got the kid size. So being frugal is having tips and tricks like discount cards and memberships to save money, but it's also saying no to things you don't really need. For me, I'm not about to have 1,000 subscriptions to watch a bunch of TV shows and movies knowing I have a lot to do, and that stuff adds up. All these subscriptions per month multiplied, how much are you spending per year? If you're a coffee drinker, think about how much a cup of coffee costs you at your favorite place to get coffee versus making your own. Getting lunch at work versus making your own lunch at home and bringing it there. These are things that frugal people do, like me. Another thing that I did because I'm frugal is I don't jump to get the new iPhone every time it comes out. If my iPhone works, you best believe I'm not getting that update. I'm not getting a new phone. As long as my iPhone works and it calls people and it texts people, until it dies out, I'm not getting a new phone. And my grandma laughed at me because my old car, before I got my new one, that thing had a chunk out of the bumper because I backed up into something. But you think I got a new bumper, a new car? No, because the car still drives. I'm not getting anything new. Those things are paid for in full. If I don't have a car note, I'm driving the car. With my iPhone, it's paid off. Why would I get a new iPhone if it still works? Use your noggin. So these are ways that you're frugal, but of course, being frugal, you don't deprive yourself of nice things, because I like nice things. I've always been that way. But the thing is, you find ways to save money on it, or you wait and you save money to really get it when you can actually really afford to buy it. Personally, I like jewelry, like real jewelry. I like fragrances. And because I get more expensive clothing, whether I make it or I get it thrifted, I buy thrift clothes. That stuff saves me money because those clothes are going to last longer. The fragrance is going to last longer when it costs more money. 1 spritz, 2 spritz last all day. With body sprays, you have to spray yourself all day long to make it last. And it's the same thing with, I like high quality equipment. This camera I have is refurbished, so I got that good quality Canon, but I got it refurbished, so I got it at a discounted price. There's always ways to save money, but not cheat yourself on getting good quality. So now that I talked about being frugal, it's not depriving yourself, it's just thinking about things, trying to find other ways to get it discounted, or waiting to purchase it when you're in the right financial space where you saved for it. I'm going to give you guys some of my favorite websites and stores where I like to save money. The first one is called 6pm.com. That's the number 6pm. I love this website because they have real name brand sneakers and shoes for a discounted price. They have Nike, they have Uggs, they have a bunch of shoes on there that are discounted, and I love that place. I got my gym shoes from there. I got a pair of Asics off of there, and I saved like $20. Another place I love to save money is eBay. I know some people are skeptical about eBay because they've seen people get scammed, but honestly, there's ways to not get scammed. You have to know the tips and the tricks. I might do a video on that one day, but eBay is legit. I've gotten name brand clothing from there. I've gotten designer fragrances from eBay. I've saved so much money because of eBay. Another place I love is Poshmark. Poshmark is a place where you get thrifted items. The cool thing is you can barter on there, so you can make an offer that's lower than what the person listed the item for. And also you can do trades. So if you have, say I have a Louis Vuitton clutch and they have a YSL bag, I'll be like, would you mind trading instead of me paying for it? And sometimes that works out. And this is one of my favorite places to save money. I don't think they're all around America, but they are in the Northeast. Ocean State Job Lot. Ocean as in water, state, job lot. This is one of my favorite stores of all time. They have home goods. I'm talking about Egyptian cotton sheets for the low. They have garden tools. They have real clothing. They have a bunch of stuff here, and it's at great prices and amazing quality. One of my favorite stores ever. Another store that I love because I sew and I like to interior decorate is Affordable Fabrics. They have amazing high quality fabrics from $2.99 a yard, okay? You cannot find that anywhere. Another place I like to save money is Goodwill. I have gotten amazing jackets from Goodwill, vintage things from Goodwill, great shoes from Goodwill, and if you're into thrifting, try it out. Another place that I like to save money that I really slept on because I hadn't shopped there since I was a child is Burlington. Burlington is so amazing because they have real name brand stuff, not white labeled stuff. A lot of people don't realize certain stores that sell name brand stuff for a discounted price, it's not really name brand. It's generic clothing from China probably that they are given permission to put that name brand's name on, but it's actually not from the big guys. So with Burlington, they actually are selling it, really selling name brand stuff. And I've gotten quality things, not just clothing, but I've gotten quality gym equipment. I've gotten weightlifting gloves for $5. I got a Nike book bag for the gym for $20. Great stuff from Burlington. So, and another store that I like is TJ Maxx. They have really cute like interior design items, and also they sell really high quality journals. Those are some of the places like websites and stores that I like to save money. And I know this episode is long, but I'm passionate about saving money, so I had to go a little longer this time. If you got this far, I really appreciate you. And this is my last segment called A Song to Expand Your Attention Span. And that's because most songs nowadays are only 3 minutes, but these songs are longer. And that song is She Works Hard for Her Money by Donna Summers. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Have a great rest of your week.